everybody can be taught how to be a human.
I like that.
A soft skill isn't learning something. It's just taking time, giving grace, and treating somebody the way that you yourself would like to be treated.
Mm-hmm.
Hello and welcome to the MRO show presented by Chadwell Supply. I'm your host, Adam Porter. Chadwell Supply is 100% dedicated to the multifamily industry. Your order is on our truck delivered the next day. Learn more at chadwellsupply.com.
We all know that technical skills can get you hired. Soft skills can get you promoted. A lack of soft skills can get you fired. So some of us have learned this lesson the hard way. So on this episode of the MRO Show, I am pleased to welcome back senior trainer at Chadwell University, Heather Sanchez, who is going to help us explore what soft skills actually are, why we don't like that term and what it ought to be, and how those skills can help us not only get promoted, but build a career we can be proud of. Heather, how you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm happy to be here with you again. So thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for coming back after the first one. I always know that we did a pretty good job when somebody's willing to come back on. So it's great to have you again. From a business perspective, somebody who's training people day in and day out, how do you see the correlation between a technician's bedside manner and the property's bottom line?
It's very similar to the bedside manner of a doctor.
Okay.
And the reason why I say that is because if you have a doctor delivering information to you that is just, basically you're in a bad spot. I don't know what to tell you. You have too bad. And there's no emotion. There's no inflection. There's nothing. It's the same because that is a very traumatic time, right? So when you are going into an apartment home, that is a traumatic time for them. They have taken time off work to be there for you. This situation shouldn't be, their garbage disposal shouldn't be broken, all of these things. So you're walking into that already escalated. You need to make sure that you have the bedside manner that allows that person to calm down, de-escalate the situation, let them know where you're at. So it is very important that we stick to a emotional type of behavior when we're doing something that is a highly escalated situation.
So let's role play that out a little bit because, as we all know in multifamily, garbage disposers never break. They never go out. Nobody ever forgets to flip the little reset switch on the bottom of the things. They're always working perfectly.
Yes.
So let's say you have a work order, one's busted. You're the maintenance supervisor, your maintenance technician, you're coming in. I'm the resident. You don't know what I put down that thing. You don't know how I'm actually using it. You're at the door. I open the door. Let's pick it up from there. You with me?
I'm with you.
So finally, I've been waiting all day. I've not been able to do anything. My garbage disposer hasn't worked for 3 days.
3 days.
Yeah.
That's really tough. I apologize that you had to sit there for 3 days and not be able to use your kitchen.
I just don't understand. I mean, I pay my rent on time every month. I do not get why you guys can't get to me sooner.
We definitely appreciate that you are a valued resident here. And we are so thankful that you take time every day to make sure, or every month for that matter, to make sure that we're paid and that you have a place to live. So here, right now, we're going to work on the situation at hand, and that's your garbage disposal, so that you get back to work and you can get back to using your kitchen, you can get back to cooking at home and not spending time at Chick-fil-A.
I appreciate that because, that thing usually works pretty good. I mean, I can put anything in there.
So quick question, what did you put down there?
So, well, I don't know exactly what went in, but we were making some chicken and the kids were helping clean up and some of the chicken I thought it went in the trash. Honestly, I just wanted it working. Can you just get it fixed?
I can't. We're going to go get that wishbone out of it. And we're going to make the wish that it doesn't break again, and the kids make sure they don't put any bones down it. And we're going to get you back to cooking in the kitchen.
I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
So if you're listening to this, one of the things that Heather did immediately was not reflect back to me my obnoxiousness and my attitude. You reflected and mirrored back a very kind, patient demeanor. You kept the smile on the whole time, and you kept the focus on not only the solution, but how I felt throughout the process. So A+, Heather, great job.
Thank you.
So if somebody were to come out there and maybe they don't have the skills or the background that you do for this sort of thing, what's a good first question when you're met with an angry resident?
It's just to understand, to be human and understand where they're coming from.
Mm-hmm.
Just take a second, step back, let them vent. We all know that on our end as property employees, that it is going 90 million miles an hour all the time. So you too have your own frustrations.
Sure.
So making sure that you just know that you are working where they live, take the second to allow them to breathe, and then come in with a, I apologize. I'm not a big person on saying I'm sorry, only because I'm sorry you're taking on ownership.
Right.
So I'm a big person of, I apologize that you had to go through that.
Mm-hmm.
That's just, everybody just wants to be heard.
Mm-hmm. Connect with where they are and how
Yes.
they feel. And
don't meet them where they're at, especially when they're angry.
Connect with them.
Connect with them.
Right. I like that. And you mentioned something a second ago I want to touch on some. You talked about that the on-site team has their own stuff going on. They've got their own frustrations, their own challenges. And the fact of the matter is that a lot of times the maintenance teams and the operations team don't see eye to eye. Sometimes it feels like they don't even speak the same language. They can have a communication conflict as well. So what are some tips, Heather, to help those two teams be more efficient and more effective working together to care for those residents?
So when you're talking about operations team, you're speaking of the leasing office, correct?
Sure.
All right. So one of my favorite things is to create scripts and actually have the leasing staff, the leasing team, go on a couple of calls, see what they do, walk in with them and watch them go through what they have to do. It's like a day in the life of. Walk around with our porter. Watch him be in 110-degree heat, picking up trash. And then you can understand really quickly why he has to sit by the water cooler for a little bit, So take time, put yourself in their shoes, and then even the other way around. I know when you ask maintenance people what the leasing people do, they'll say they sit around and they play on the phone all day.
Yeah, they're on their computer all day playing games, right?
Yes.
Yep.
And then the leasing office will say that the maintenance staff is just running around on the golf cart all day.
Yeah, hanging out in the open units, right? Yeah.
Just living the life in the AC. That is so hard to bridge that gap. But once you really have everybody working in unison, it really works beautifully. And when I go back to talking about those scripts, it's exactly what you said earlier about the garbage disposal. Train your leasing staff to have those little bits, those little nuggets. Like, have you tried to reset the GFCI? Okay, you don't know what that is? Let me discuss that. Let's walk over to and let them go through it with them. So this way you're not creating a ticket for silliness that you could have combated from that phone call.
You're saving me a flight of stairs.
You're saving the maintenance staff a flight of stairs. I'm saving the leasing office from having to take the time to create the work order to do all those things. And it's really joining them together. Let's work together. Let's figure that out.
I love the way to find practical connection points.
Absolutely.
So one of the things and the pushback I get when I talk about, because we've in our previous conversation, we talked about how we don't like the term soft skills. I like to say communication, empathy, listening. It's more than one thing, but everybody understands what we mean when we say soft skills. So one of the things I've heard a lot when I get pushback on this is soft skills can't be taught. It's a personality thing or it's an aptitude. It's not something that people can learn, and maybe it's not something they're going to be willing to learn. How do you feel about that, Heather?
Everybody can be taught how to be a human.
I like that.
A soft skill isn't learning something. It's just taking time, giving grace, and treating somebody the way that you yourself would like to be treated.
Taking time, giving grace, treating people like a human being. So learn how to treat people, learn how to be a human being, or learning how to treat people like a human being.
You talk to your pets so wonderfully.
Yes.
So wonderfully.
Yes.
They go and they make an accident in the house and you're like, oh my goodness, poor baby, you were inside so long. And you didn't come and, oh my God. You weren't being aggressive.
Right.
So give that same respect to the person that you're having a conversation with.
So you mentioned before not to just assign blame. Don't assume intent. Hold back on that. Take a step, practice empathy, think about what you're going to say. How do you coach that process, Heather? If I have a team that I want to take this next step, I want to create those connections, I want to demonstrate those, but at some point, they're going to need some coaching. What are a few ways that you can coach empathy?
I always say in a class, it's a 10% shift. I'm not asking you to make a 180% change. Just give me 10%. Let's find a word. Let's find the word from problem to challenge.
Okay.
Put a rubber band around your wrist. Every time you say, Mom, or, manager, we have a problem, pop your wrist.
Okay.
Pinch your leg. Like something to remind you that that's not a word that you need to say anymore. We don't have a problem. We have a challenge. And be solution oriented.
Be solution oriented. Shift the way you think about things.
Shift the way you think about things. Take one thing at a time. It actually takes 22 days to make a habit. So for everybody used to say it takes 7. It does not. It takes 22 days to 30 days.
Consistency takes longer than a week.
Yes. So if you continue to use that, words are previews to your life. If you constantly say, we have a problem, what do you have a problem? You move toward what you focus on. What are you going to have? Problem.
We move toward what we focus on. You touched on that in our last conversation, people making a decision within 60 days. If we give them an opportunity to have a positive interaction, that's going to go in that positive bank, that I want to go ahead and renew bank. These people understand me. They're listening to me. So let's talk about something that does come up quite often for maintenance professionals. You're in there, you have a happy resident. You just fixed their dishwasher. And it's done, it's working, those dishes are as clean as they're ever going to possibly be. You're going to shake their hand, head out the door, onto your next stack, top of your stack on your work order list. And they stop you as you get to the door and say, hey, since you're here, I have 4 or 5 other things that I've been thinking about putting in a ticket about. I've been thinking about calling. I haven't called yet. Can you take care of those while you're here? How do you approach that conversation? You have a happy resident.
Yep.
Are you about to tell them no and make them unhappy, Heather?
I don't like the word no.
I know you don't.
So you have a happy resident. They need more things done in that apartment. You know that you have 15 other tickets to do by the end of the day, and you're probably, there's not a lot of time. So I actually would turn around and say, let me see what you have going on. Unfortunately, I can't get to those for you right now, but I can look at them and relay it to the office after you put in your ticket. How does that sound to you? And they're like, oh, I need it done right now.
So yeah, let's play it. Well, you're standing right there, and like the fan is rattling. Can you just tighten the blades? You're right there, and then it's just a loose outlet cover in the bathroom. You can take care of that. You're here.
Absolutely. I understand that these problems are a challenge, and they're kind of probably a eyesore for you.
Sure.
And we need to get them done really quickly.
I agree. Definitely. Get
Absolutely.
them done. And you're here.
I do have a broken AC that is an emergency. Whether you have it or not, there is a AC unit that is out across the building. That is my next priority, as that is an emergency. If you give me a couple of minutes, to go and handle that while you put in the service ticket, I may be the person that comes out today. I may not, but I know that you would want to be serviced immediately if you didn't have air. So please allow me the same respect to go and service the person without air.
Yeah, I get that. And our air was out about 6 months ago, and you guys came and took care of it, and that was miserable. And you guys let me come and hang out in the community area, and I was able to get some AC, relax a little bit. So go ahead and take care of that, and these other things will wait. I guess the fan can rattle a little bit. That's fine.
Fan can't rattle that long. We'll make sure we handle it, but I appreciate you understanding.
Thank you for sticking the landing on that. I gave a little bit back, and you didn't let it go. That's something I think people miss when they're having these conversations. Yes, you had somebody who was willing to give back and meet you halfway, but you then reinforce the fact that how they felt and their problems were still important, even though there was an emergency situation. It's a really great nuance to those kinds of conversations. Great job, Heather. Thank you for that.
Thank you. It's taken 20 years to get that down.
Well, we're trying to help people get it in 20 minutes, right?
Yes, we're trying to make it happen faster.
One podcast, you have it all figured out here at the MRO show. Absolutely not. But we're working on it. Keep listening. We're going to do our best to get you there. So it sounds to me, if I'm really thinking about it as an overarching thing, if I want to boil it down to one word, the idea here is to be patient. Take a little more time in thought, take a little more time answering questions. respond, don't react. Anything you'd like to add to that? Any other ways that you think that people ought to think about what it means to be patient in a conversation that may start a little combative?
To really, to just piggyback on that patience and to piggyback on treat others as you yourself would like to be treated. We all know that life right now is, everybody has the attention span of a gnat.
Mm-hmm. And stress is off the chain out there.
Yes.
Everybody's at an 11 all the time, seems like.
Yes. We just have to sit back and remember, I get it. I get that you're upset, but we don't work in a commercial environment. We work in a residential environment.
We work in their home. They don't live in our office.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. We work in a residential environment, and people get angry about 3 things: where they live, their food, and their money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And their air conditioning.
And their air conditioning, because that's where they live.
Sure. Yeah. I always get it. That has it. I always have to add that as the 4th one. I love your list, but you're a Texan. I'm a Floridian. We know that AC is a standalone thing.
It is its own challenge, all separate.
And it is a gorgeous miracle that we get to enjoy on the daily, except when we're not enjoying it. And that moment when you wake up and it's 2 a.m. and you roll over and you go, does it feel a little stuffy in here?
Can't breathe. What's going on?
Yeah, that's the nightmare. But you said people get upset about their home.
Their home because their home is where their family lives. Their home is where they go to relax and be peaceful and to shake off all the litter from the day. The
stuff that gets on us when we're going around in the world.
All the things that you pick up, all the things, because I'm very much so. If you were in a bad mood, I could feel it. Yes. And then I'm going to, how can I help you? Well, that's just who we are as human beings, right? We want to help. We want to make sure that people, being a servant leader.
Mm-hmm. And when we walk into our home, we want the garbage disposal to work. We want the dishwasher to work. We want that AC to work. So, and when it doesn't, that's just an extra one more thing. I've come now to my place where I want to de-stress, and I want to unwind, I want to relax. And now there's another problem. And then you get the conversation of, why are there always so many problems, Heather? Why are there always so many problems? And so how do you respond to that? When you get that level of aggression, what's your first thought as somebody who's had a lot of experience in conflict resolution and in talking to people really off the ledge?
It's just to allow that person the ability to vent, to confess all of it, to just drop it out on the table.
And don't take it personal.
Don't take it personally, because it's not about you. It's about the challenge that's laid out in front of them. Pit diving is so valuable, but there always has to be someone to yank you out.
Got to have that rope.
You always have to have the rope. Pit dive to create the bond, but you have to set a time limit. Like I've allowed them. So normally if someone comes to me and they have a litany of issues.
So just real quick. So when you say pit diving, go ahead and describe that for folks who may not be familiar with that term.
Pit diving is when you find something or someone that you have a legitimate. It didn't have to be legitimate. It could be silly as my dishwashers broke 75 times out of the year, and apartment 220's dishwashers broke 75 times out of the year. And so they're going to pit dive on that. They're going to
feed on that shared frustration.
Yes, shared frustration. And you're going to go down a rabbit hole, and that creates a bond. That creates a bond because you have something in common.
So give people time to vent a little bit, but understand that that's not what you're there for. You're there to help them solve the challenge and return their home back to a state of where they can have some peace.
My little adage is, it's fun to visit the Strip in Vegas. You don't want to live on the Strip in Vegas. So go there, have fun, get out.
Yeah. Visit.
I
like that.
Visit the frustration. Then
don't wallow
in it.
I love that. So if you're out there and you're working on an on-site team, your property management, your maintenance, you're having a lack of communication between the teams, find a touchstone, find a shared point that you guys can agree on and work from. If you're struggling with how to have conversations with folks as residents of the community, remember this is their home and help them protect that. Help understand,
I love that. Help them protect that.
Take the time to listen. Take the time to be patient. Last word, Heather, is there anything folks out there, something they could do right now today that's going to make a big difference, not only on their outlook on the day, but in their resident satisfaction?
Make the 10% shift. Decide what you are going to eliminate and start to work on. It is definitely a practice thing. You practice it every day. You practice. How do you covet something? You covet something that you see every day.
Yeah.
So work on something a little bit every day until you eventually change.
Give yourself a little bit of grace to mess up.
Give yourself a little bit of grace to mess
Work
up.
on
You
it
will
every
mess
day.
up. You will mess up. I mess up.
We all do.
I mess up when I have this conflict resolution with my children because we don't give our children as much grace as we give everybody else. So I try to,
because they're in our home and they're messing with our peace.
They're at home messing with our peace. So
Yeah.
mirror them, validate them, and then come to a solution. Be a solution-oriented person.
Be a solution-oriented person. Heather, thank you so much. I really appreciate you sharing that with us. Thanks for your experience and your time.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.
And thank you for listening to this episode of the MRO Show presented by Chadwell Supply. If you got something from the conversation and you're ready to make that 10% shift, take a few seconds to rate us 5 stars on your favorite podcast service. And for more MRO Show, check out chadwellsupply.com/podcast.